sending kitty faces, sending bread into my phone. Bitch, my name Tilly, nigga. No, I'm not different on it.
The tragic story of Lil Pump,
From mainstream success garnering fans in the millions thanks to his repetitive, minimalistic, and slightly grating sound, to a series of commercial failures, even while still being one of the most talked about people on social media, Lil Pump was victim to one of the harshest fall-offs the music industry has ever seen, and has been trying to claw it back every step of the way. If you've been on Twitter in the past week, you might have seen this video of Lil Pump with a new look denouncing his past delinquency. Maybe you saw this now deleted video posted last year by XXL of Pump in Japan, seemingly being completely ignored by the general public and being surprised that he is so unknown. Either way, if you were around in 2016 and 2017 to see his massive rise to success and even a collaboration with Kanye West before all the recent escapades, you'll be shocked to learn the true story of how we really got here. But before we get to
to be honest, this is how we knew he wasn't gonna be shit. If you get a feature from Kanye, Kanye really just think that you probably big enough to get a Kanye feature, but Kanye just using you. Kanye just using you to get his shit out there. Even though he don't need you, but it's in like a certain way. Like he kind of wanna. Kanye's ego is very big, bro. His ego is very big. So he dead ass did this knowing that Lil Pump was about to be ass, and knowing that Lil Pump was going, you feel me, fall off. Especially this song. This song was fucking terrible. And Kanye knew it. But Lil Pump was on it. Everybody was, Lil Pump was everywhere. Just saying.
To that, we have to go back to the start to understand a little bit more about Gazi Garcia before he eventually became Lil Pump. Gazi Garcia was born on August 17, 2000 in Miami, Florida, to two Colombian parents who divorced when he was only 6 years old. Not much is known about Gazi's upbringing, but it's fair to assume he wasn't a typical suburban kid. In fact, he grew up in some pretty tumultuous surroundings. He was a bad kid, by all means, being expelled for fighting and creating problems at every school he attended. His behavior was so bad that he was sent to a school for troubled youths. And it was here where in 10th grade he incited a riot in the school, leading to police involvement and, of course, his expulsion. If even the school specifically for troubled youths doesn't want you, it's really hard to see yourself working at any school. Gazi had no direction, and at 15 years old, he started selling drugs as he had no other real options. This was until a friend who he'd met 2 years prior would work with him on one project that would change his life.
Is it Smoke Perk? Is it Smoke Perk?
Before we get into that, I'd just like to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, ExpressVPN. It's crazy to think that your own
ExpressVPN
is your network.
No,
public would take much more.
I love
than
ExpressVPN. You guys can sponsor me later on.
Is there who sign up to my
God
right
damn,
now,
my nigga.
instrumental in Lil Pump coming to be was Omar Pinheiro, better known as
this
Smoke
nigga
Perk.
name is Omar?
Another one of music's biggest fall-off merchants, but at the time, an up-and-coming musician who had also been kicked out of a number of high schools. The two hit it off, coming from similar backgrounds, being a similar age, and both looking for an outlet. Pump's career started when Smoke Perk produced a track and asked Pump to freestyle over it, with this song going on to be Lil Pump's first single, simply titled Lil Pump.
Lil Pump, Lil Pump, yeah, Lil Pump, that's crazy. I've been on this nigga since then. What the fuck? That's actually crazy. I didn't know that was his first song. Lil Pump, Lil Pump, yeah, Lil Pump,
This was quickly followed with singles Elementary, Ignorant,
Elementary.
This
nigga dead ass had no type of fucking flow, no nothing. This nigga just said the same thing over and over. This shit is called child support music. Oh my god. Bro, I missed the SoundCloud era, bro. Oh my goodness.
An amazing start for any artist, but things really started to get serious over the next few releases in 2017, being the singles D-Rose and Boss. Which
oh my god, D-Rose is so fucking hard, bro.
17 million streams.
I don't give a fuck when nobody say D-Rose is actually hard as shit. It's to this day, it's still hard. To this day. 100 I'm been feeling like D-Rose, Pop O's in, now I'm feeling like a hero, Superman. That shit hard as shit.
The success, Pump signed a record deal with The Lights Global and Warner Records just 2 months before his 17th birthday. However, in January of 2018, his contract 16? With Warner Bros. Was voided because he'd been a minor at the time of signing it. Next came the definite peak of Pump's career when, in July 2017...
Man, hella kids is signing deals now. What the fuck? Ain't they? Like children. Aren't they signing deals now? Did they change that shit or something?
That his debut mixtape was in the works and would be released in August. The album was not released in August and was pushed back, but this might have been the best decision that he ever made. He instead released the single Gucci Gang, which became his first Billboard Hot 100 entry, peaking at number 3 on November 18th, 2017.
Damn.
This song was
Number
certified
3?
gold and platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America on January 11th, 2018, and as of July 31st, 2018, is certified triple platinum. If you know anything about Lil Pump, it's this song. Coming out during the clout internet era with characters like Rice Gum, Supreme Patty, Lil Tay, and Bad Baby commanding the attention of the general public.
Bro. Oh my god. This era. Once 2018 hit, say goodbye. Say goodbye. SoundCloud era from like 2016 to shit, like 1 year. I guess 2018 too. But yeah, this shit was annoying as fuck. This was one of the most annoying eras of all time. Like dead ass. Especially this bitch. This little nigga and this nigga. Oh my god, I hated seeing this nigga. I hated him. The Rice Gum was cool. Rice Gum always been cool. Bad Baby, at this moment, yeah, she wasn't it. But now, call me. Call me my baby. Call me, please. She fine as fuck. But these two niggas, say goodbye, bro. These annoying as fuck.
Like, Pump's music and public persona made him fit right in with this crowd. While the focus so far has been on his music, it's important to note that a lot of the success Lil Pump received was really due to his public persona. He was a young and scrappy rapper with a huge attitude, regularly acting hyperactive, shouting out loud, consuming enough drugs to sedate an elephant, and all around being a force to be reckoned with, all before his 18th birthday. I want to make a real point of that, as a lot of people sometimes forget that he was legally a minor during most of this time. Pump was a kid who had next to nothing, and then lost
legally
what
a
he did
minor?
have due
What
to
does
his
that mean?
attitude and irrational behavior, only to then have that behavior rewarded with $1 million contracts, club appearances, tours, the works. He was in a dream for someone of his background, and having this music consume so much of his life, he covered himself in tattoos, dyed his dreads, and pursued the reckless lifestyle that he had always been living, but turning the dial up with every paycheck. So it's clear to anyone that this wasn't sustainable. But Pump's career wasn't anywhere near over yet, and the music just kept coming. Pump released the single I Shine on January 18, 2018 with legendary producer Carnage. Following reports that he had left his former label, The Lights Global and Warner Records, as this contract had been voided on the grounds of him being a minor when he signed, competition rose to sign Pump, with offers reportedly as high as $8 million to $12 million or more. And artists like Gucci
Bro,
Mane,
niggas
DJ
really thought like he had potential like that. I'm not gonna lie. I knew damn well that nigga ain't had no potential, bro. I'm sorry. Like, it was just the elementary ass lyrics and his persona, nigga. It was his whole profile, his image, nigga. But his music was dog. It was dog. And I thought everybody knew that shit. He had like maybe literally like 1-2 good songs, bro. And those were from 2017 when he was a child. So it was like once he started after Gucci Gang, it was raps. It was too big of a hit for him, bro. It was too big of a hit. Too big.
Khaled started taking interest in him. Eventually,
Too
though,
big of a
he
hit.
re-signed with Warner Records for $8 million. Next came the single Es Get It, named after his appropriation of the phrase Let's Get It that you could hear him yelling in 30-second intervals for the past 2 years.
Let's get it!
That
Let's
song
get
was
it!
featured on the Double
Bro, everybody was screaming
back
that
when
bitch
it
in
used to
school, bro. I ain't
actually
gonna
mean
lie.
something, and released the single Drug Addicts with an accompanying video appropriately featuring celebrity cokehead Charlie Sheen. Then came what is arguably his biggest song, rivaling even the heights of Gucci Gang, I Love It. A song with Kanye West and Roblox-inspired costumes that really helped to highlight the hilarity of this collaboration. It's important to note at this point, Pump was still more of a character and wasn't really considered a serious rapper, with the content of his lyrics being all tropes. Money, drugs, and sex were exclusively what Pump would rap about, with most of his songs being 1 or 2 lines over and over, so him being on a track with Kanye, well, that was a huge surprise. How it happened, we may never know, but it did give us one of the most entertaining moments in the music industry. Next came a single with Lil Uzi, which I hadn't actually even heard of until researching this video. Still not their most
What's up,
questionable
man?
collaboration, but seemingly
What's up,
another good
man? Yo, was I a Lil Pump fan? What the fuck? I know all these songs. Was I a Lil Pump fan? Multi-million,
co-sign for Pump. Then a Skrillex song with posthumous vocals.
Okay, I don't know that song. Actually, I do. That was that Jamaican shit, and that shit was terrible.
This was when the cracks would start to show, however. As I said before, this lifestyle and style of music, they just don't seem sustainable, and thus began one of the biggest fall-offs in music history. This started when he decided to involve some very clearly racist lyrics in a snippet to one of his upcoming songs directed towards the Asian community. He even went so far as to pull his eyes back in order to get the message across, "That's it guys, I'm being racist." Obviously, this did not go down well, and it even garnered him a few diss tracks from Chinese rappers alongside a lot of negative press coverage. He did eventually make an apology video, but I mean, seriously, it's definitely too little too late. He knew what he was doing. On February 22nd, 2019, he released his debut studio album, Harvard Dropout, featuring Kanye West.
Oh my gosh. Harvard Dropout? I ain't gonna lie. What was the everybody wanna be like me. Everybody wanna be like me. That shit was fire, like, wait. That shit was fire, like, wait. I remember in school, me and my Indian friend was hilarious, bro. That nigga was so fucking funny. But we had like the same like music taste. Bro, we would always bump this shit. This one and Stripper Name. I don't know the bitch, but I know the Stripper Name. Yeah, that shit was fire. Nah, but Be Like Me was fire. I ain't gonna lie. Be Like Me was kind of fire. Everybody
Blame,
wanna be
Offset,
like me.
Quavo, Smoke Pub,
Everybody
Lil Uzi
wanna
Vert,
be
2
like
Chainz,
me.
and YG. With a feature list like this, it's no surprise that the album was a commercial success and would mark the last truly successful album in the Lil Pump discography. For now, at least. Harvard Dropout was bound for success for a few reasons, with the main one being the extensive feature list, followed by the hype around Pump at the time, given all of his TV appearances and social media following, as, if you remember, at this point in time, clout was literally the only thing that mattered to any artist. But also for the fact that everything seemed like an in-joke for Pump to exploit. The music hinged on this idea that everyone thought it was so silly that Pump was famous, since he was uneducated, arrogant, his music was comically simple, not necessarily bad, but simple. Pump's lack of education was something that got him a lot of attention, even in the old days, when one of the first viral Pump clips being the 70 clip, a video where he was asked how long would it take a car traveling 70 miles an hour to travel 70 miles.
This nigga lightweight was, I mean, I don't want to say influence, like, but he lightweight got a lot of shit out there that like people was fucking with. I ain't gonna lie. You can't really hate on him. He was doing his thing. You can't really hate on him. 70, nigga. That shit was funny as fuck. This nigga carried 2018. Yo. I'm just now realizing he carried 2018 for real. Damn. I mean, props. He carried 2018.
70. An answer that he even sounded confident in the video.
You're going 70 miles per hour. How long would it take you to drive 70 miles?
70 niggas?
Why?
The virality of this clip was something that he clearly noticed, and he turned the dial all the way up. Pump would regularly tweet about how he dropped out of Harvard, always making sure to misspell the name like that, in order to save the rap game. This claim was clearly bogus, but people seemed to find it funny at the time, and it worked for Pump. This does mean, however, that a lot of the people listening to his album were more in on the joke than anything else, and not serious fans of the music, surprise surprise. But this seemed to be the way Lil Pump would attempt to keep himself in the public eye. These online interactions, good or bad, brought more eyes to his music, but after the success of his album Harvard Dropout, things would only really go downhill from here. When his career was starting to slow down a bit, Pump realized his music wouldn't keep him in the headlines anymore, and seemed to think the best way to get back into the public eye would be to endorse the then President Donald Trump. He claimed he did this because he wasn't a fan of Joe Biden's tax plans, but with the way things are looking now, I don't think he'll have to worry, since it'll only affect Americans making more than $400,000 a year. He appeared at a Trump rally to show his support, where Trump referred to him as Little Pimp, apparently not even knowing the name of Lil Pump at the time. Pump responded to this by changing his Instagram name to Lil Pimp. Apparently apparently being in on the joke on that one. At this rally, Pump went on a rant about how he would never vote for Biden and how upset he was that he might have to pay more taxes than before. This isn't something that would have been career ruining since Lil Wayne did the same thing, but his intentions for headlines became clear when it was revealed he wasn't actually registered to vote at the time, so the endorsement seemed confusing to say the least. And if that wasn't enough for you, it might interest you to know that in 2016,
that nigga just need the
Pump
clout.
actually tweeted in all caps Donald Trump,
That's
but decided
hilarious.
to delete that tweet after they became best friends. Following this, the erratic and hyperactive persona Pump portrayed started coming off more arrogant than anything else, something that he had been criticized for before, but now that he was starting to fall off, these accusations came in droves. This arrogance was actually so prevalent that in 2020, Pump was banned from flying JetBlue after refusing to wear a mask on a flight from Fort Lauderdale to LA, right in the height of the COVID pandemic.
Damn.
While Pump had legal issues
Fuck
previously,
COVID, bro.
most of it seemed
Fuck
like
COVID.
innocuous arrests or something that really wasn't any of our business. But this instance really didn't sit well with the general public. It was a clear act of defiance where he created a problem since his arrogance had taken over. This arrogance seemed to come from the fact that he seriously believed, because of his accolades, that he had saved the rap game and didn't seem to at this time realize everyone was kind of joking about it. The
Like,
attitude
bro,
had
nobody actually took this nigga serious. Let's be honest. Nobody took this nigga serious. And I feel like he thought that people actually took him serious. Nobody took him serious, nigga. What the fuck?
gotten him in trouble a couple years prior too, as he pursued the iCarly actress Miranda Cosgrove. Over the years,
Oh,
Pump
I
made
remember
many
this!
attempts towards Miranda Cosgrove and made no secret of his attraction towards her, but he wasn't the romantic type. Oftentimes straight up saying, "I want to fuck," with one particular instance where he brought a cake with a picture of her on it and captured the
I
words,
remember this
iCarly,
shit,
I'm
bro.
trying to fuck, so I made you a cake, get it. Subtlety was never his strong suit. This all became a bit strange when he posted this now deleted image captioned, "Just had a 1-year-old daughter with iCarly," which seemed to be a bit too far for some fans as they started to realise that this pursuit of Miranda Cosgrove started as a slightly crude joke, but somewhere between the cake and the baby kind of went
Okay,
a
I
little
didn't
bit
know he
too
did that
far.
shit.
It was
That's
pretty in line with his public persona, however, as he was known and loved for saying and doing stupid things, but now he had a person on the receiving end of his jokes. Things started to feel a little strange, turning some fans off at this point. There was even a rumour at one point that Miranda had a restraining order against Pump, but that turned out to be fake. So, after a few hits to his reputation and the world losing interest in the shock-driven clout era media,
Man, but thing is, bro, it's just, the real thing is, like, he was young as fuck. He was 17. He was doing all this at 17 years old. You know, his head gonna be big as shit, bro. And that's when, like, clout was, like, at the height of his thing. That's when social media started to, like, actually, like, take over the world. Well, now it's really taking over the world, but that's when social media, like, really, like, came out and, like, niggas would start making money off that shit for real. Like, you know, his head was big and he was a kid, bro. That's why you can't really indulge in shit like, I don't know, bro. He was young,
Pump
though.
was not in the best
But
position
damn.
to say the least. On February 13th, 2020, Pump stated on his Instagram story, "I'm done doing music. I quit." Only to come back a few days later with another story saying, "Y'all thought I quit? I'm back." Quitting at this point in time wouldn't have been the worst idea. Perhaps Gazzy could hang up the Pump persona and pursue a different route with music, or
Facts.
just retire at 19 with the millions of dollars he'd made so far.
Literally.
But he wasn't finished just yet. He used this time and attention to announce his upcoming album, Lil Pump 2. An album with a seemingly normal title. There's no in-jokes here anymore. This is just a Lil Pump album.
Damn,
In
I remember this. I reacted to this when I was like, when I first started doing like YouTube and shit. I remember I reacted to this shit. And your Rage reacted to my one of my videos, one of my clips, because I put it in his Reddit and he seen it. He kind of laughed at it, but it was a try not to laugh anyway. Damn, he got a real Diongo G feature? What the fuck? Young boy? Yeah, but this shit was ass though. Terrible.
2020, preceding the album, around
Terrible.
the same time he got banned from
I mean,
JetBlue,
terrible.
Pump released a few singles to SoundCloud that apparently didn't garner the attention he was hoping. So he tried his old method of baiting news headlines with a SoundCloud exclusive single titled Lil Pimp Big Maga Stepping, with this cover. But people had grown tired of him. The joke wasn't funny anymore, and these singles had a dismal listener base compared to his previous releases. It seems he started to understand that nobody really cared about his antics anymore, so he had to get creative in how he'd get attention from the public. But most importantly, how he'd make money. His next major scheme came in 2021, when he decided to take a page out of every fallen off celebrity's favorite scam, shilling valueless NFTs to his audience. Looking at the page 2 years following, it doesn't seem to have gone as well as he wanted, as looking at the auction page here, people are willing to sell their $10,000 VVS diamond chain limited edition NFT for $2.5 grand, since after all, it is a completely
Was y'all niggas buying NFTs? I wasn't buying no type of NFTs. I know people that did though, but I wasn't buying no type of NFTs. I wasn't. I don't know. I still don't understand what that shit is. To be honest with you.
image of a necklace. Why you wouldn't spend?
I just know everybody was buying them apes
and
and shit.
Never understand. Now at this point, the hype surrounding Lil Pump was all but completely dead, and this title loop style of music wasn't really garnering the attention that he wanted. The Trump endorsement didn't net him the red wave that he expected, and his music was slowly becoming less and less interesting. His time was all but over, and it was something you could tell was going to happen from the start. I mean, you'd be foolish to believe that the career he had carved for himself would be in any way sustainable. It was a joke that got old. Granted, it took a while for people to stop finding it funny, but eventually the attitude of the general public simply changed. The clout era was over for good. And it wasn't just Lil Pump that fell off here, to be fair. Supreme Patty also found people losing interest.
It was all them niggas, bro. All them niggas that was doing shit for clout, they all fell off. They all did. All of them. Except for Bad Baby. Bro, I seen a picture of this nigga now, like recently. Bro, this nigga is yoked. Bro, that nigga big as shit. He hella big. I think he got his life together a little bit. But yeah, they all fell off. All them clout niggas that came out in 2018 fell off. Except for Bad Baby. Isn't it crazy how they all like kind of came back at the same time though? Except for Bad Baby. Yeah. Bad Baby's smart as fuck. She's smart as shit. I ain't gonna lie, at the height of what she had, she started that OnlyFans as soon as she turned 18, nigga. She's smart as fuck. She made bank off that shit as soon as she turned 18. She's smart as shit. And thing is, she hella smart because she didn't even do no crazy shit. She didn't do no dick sucking, no type of fucking on there. Like, she's smart as fuck. She went the Ruby Rose route, and she making stupid pay. Like, yo, she did her thing.
Lemons into his eyes. Whoa Vicky wasn't ever funny, but now people stopped pretending, and Lil Tay was actually revealed to be a victim of her own guardian's expectations of her. The joke was old, and it was time to move on. So he did. For the first time in his career, Lil Pump would actually switch up what he was doing. In 2021, he released a song with Tory Lanez, which of course had the typical chorus of the same line, but also included a longer verse for Pump. He still kept his signature lines, all the notes that he was known for, Get It,
I remember that Lil Pump song with the Mexican nigga. That shit was kind of hard. Coronel. Yeah, that shit was
Pump clearly took a liking to, and he would silently release a collab album with the producer in December of 2021 titled No Name. 2021 just so happened to be the same year the IRS would take an interest in Pump, filing a lien against his Miami home. For those of you that don't know, that means they seized his property, their reason being a whopping $1.6 million in unpaid taxes. Something that in his prime he most definitely could have paid, but nowadays he might need to sell a few more pretend diamond chains to make ends meet. Now, if we've learned anything about Lil Pump, it's that music isn't his biggest draw, and this was obvious. The album was a failure since he decided not to ever mention it, opting to let the album speak for itself. Well, it had nothing to say. Then, in 2022, XXL released this video to Twitter of Lil Pump, surprised he wasn't being recognized on the streets of Japan. The sentiment from the viewers seemed to be a consistent one. His era was over, and it was written all over the streets.
Yeah.
Pump responded to this with his own video, telling them to release the full video, showing himself getting a...
But I mean, like, he did... Even by saying he had his own era, that's some hard-ass shit. He did have his own era, like... Let's be honest, we all was fucking with him at one point. Well, not like fucking with him like that, but we knew him at one point. But like, you feel me? He had his own era. Come on, that's hard. That's some hard ass shit to say.
Photo with a couple of fans. Not really something that communicates worldwide celebrity, but still slightly less embarrassing than literally nobody wanting a picture with him. But he knew that engaging with this was his best shot at getting traction again, since he would be back in headlines and maybe then he could replicate the success he had seen before. This wasn't the case, however. as most people had already moved on, only interesting in retrospectively poking fun at Pump and not really caring for the idea that he might make a return. He, however, persevered and would continue trying to get hype for his new album in a few different ways. He spent some time e-begging Elon Musk for a Tesla, claiming that his song titled Tesla was instrumental in increasing the Tesla stock price, so of course he deserved a few free cars for the favor, right? As of right now, however, Elon doesn't seem to care, and it's hard to believe that he hasn't seen the tweets considering the amount of time he spends on the app. Pump also previewed the song in GTA Radio, an interesting marketing move which I do have to commend him for.
What the fuck? He did that? That's fire. That's fire. I don't give a fuck. That is a good ass marketing move. That's fire as fuck. I did not know he did that. I did not know he did that. Damn, that's fire as fuck. That's actually fire.
The song in GTA Radio, an interesting marketing move which I do have to commend him for, but unfortunately not the one he needed to regain his listeners' attention. Lil Pump 2 came out and was available for purchase, but most people didn't do that. They just didn't care. Despite actually promoting this one, nobody listened, and the album, as of right now, around 2 weeks after release, is considered a commercial failure. Then, finally, we come to this Lil Pump. The man dressed as Aladdin, claiming to have once been the scrappy young Lil Pump we all knew back in 2017. He seems to have changed, telling Complex he cut down on his drug usage and he finally abandoned the old persona. You know, he says it best in his own words.
If you want the old Pump back, I'll be in fucking jail right now, I'll tell you that. Like, you guys don't want the old Pump back. When I was young, I was just doing a lot of dumbass, ignorant shit. I admit that. I've done a lot of dumb shit. Crashing cars, doing this, that, a whole bunch of drugs. And now I'm just more grown. I just think about shit before I do it. Now I'm sober, just chilling. I used to smoke at least like 4 ounces a day. Now I'm not even smoking a blunt a day. I'm not doing shit.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
So you might see me on the internet as an ignorant fuck, but I was a chill guy who likes to have fun and enjoy life.
So how did
But
we
yeah,
get
he
here?
was he was enjoying his life though. At least you could tell, bro. He was 17, 18, 19, bro. He was just enjoying his life. He was making fucking bank, bro. He was making millions, bro. You can't really be mad at the nigga for enjoying his life, bro. Yeah, maybe he could have had a better mindset, but like, fuck. I mean, shit. $13 million, bro. At that age, bro. You living, bro. You living, my nigga. You feel me?
It seems like everyone is tired of Lil Pump, including Gazzy himself. Maybe he finally realised that people didn't actually listen to him out of love for the music, but to laugh at his character.
Damn.
Maybe the dwindling sales are making him reevaluate his decisions, pushing him towards what he believes to be a more respectable persona. Now, one thing that I find surprising is the amount of enabling that happens surrounding Lil Pump. Yeah, sure, he was a total moron on a number of occasions, and some of those things are entirely indefensible. I'm not here to say anything he did was okay or even considered normal, just to point out that the whole internet was behind him for a good portion of this. And he got famous at 16 years old. He was very young, especially for the amount of fame he received, and he seemingly didn't even know what he was doing right. He could have been entirely authentic the entire time, but it's hard to imagine that any kid who couldn't even finish high school would revel in the opportunity to poke fun at himself, calling himself a Harvard dropout for clout. He went from a disadvantaged teenager who had nothing going for him to a viral success thanks to his idiocy, turning him into this punching bag for anyone who took a few seconds to examine what he was doing. And it paid. Well, it paid until it didn't. Maybe now Pump can reflect on the things he's done and really think about what he wants to do and where he wants to go.
You think this nigga broke now?
Like the move anymore, and nobody cares if he wants to Miranda Cosgrove, leaving him with very few options. It's no wonder he keeps popping up like this on people's timelines. He doesn't know anything other than this. But sadly, the world has moved on.
Damn.
And it's high time that he did too.
Damn. That's wild. I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy.